police terrorists in this state. And so we represent the California Families United for Justice Network, which is a state organization of families that's been impacted.
And what are you hoping people understand more about your plight?
Well, of course, we're here today at ACLU building having a conversation and a celebration for 1421, SB 1421 that was passed. One of the main cases in 1421 that brought it to the forefront was Richard Perez case itself. Richard Perez, could you step out? And thanks to his family, not thanks to his family in the sense that his son was murdered, but thanks to him being vigilant enough to be consistent in speaking to this issue of this madness that we're experiencing as families.
Okay. And Richard, what would you like to share?
We've been trying to achieve this information all along, and every time all these families come out, they get information from the police. We all get the same story. It's they either seal up the records or they won't release it. We go into we get into civil suits thinking we're going to get criminal charges, and we soon find out it's just a civil suit, not criminal. But the police refuse, and the cities refuse to talk about it because it's in litigation. And so our family quickly settled just to not allow them to say that. And then as soon as they settled, everything was sealed up. So thanks to all the work of all these families, that 1421 did pass, and the police are still trying to give us the runarounds on the information. I think in the end, though, we'll have a victory on this. They're just destroying their own institution by withholding all this information from the families that are victims of their wrongdoings. So.
If I can, I'd like to just make sure that we all are acknowledged. We have here Kobe Friday's mother, Miss Denise Friday. We have Sequita Thomas, who is the mother or grandmother of Stephon Clark, murdered in, of course, Sacramento. We have Yolanda Reed Banks, who is the mother of Shalene Tyndall. Here we have Dominic Archibald, who is the mother of Nathaniel Prickett. We have O'Shane Evans, yes, sister who is here for O'Shane Evans, killed here in San Francisco. We have, of course, Augustine Gonzalez's mother, Carla. We have here also Ada Perkins, who is the mother of Richard Perkins, who was killed in Oakland, shot, 15 times? 22 times. And then we have the mother of Alex Nietos, as you know, who was also killed right here in San Francisco. And this is just a fraction of the families that's been impacted by this violence. Just a fraction.
But 1421 is law. And that's what we're here for.
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak out? Go ahead.
One of your mothers?
I would like to say that.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to just say that because of everybody's diligence and steadfastness, coming together and going to Sacramento and lobbying and speaking with the legislators and everything like that, and the senators, just make it possible. But my son, he was assassinated by Officer David Wells, August the 16th, 2016. And we are still seeking justice for my son in Stockton, California.
And I'm the grandmother of Stephon Clark, and the two police officers murdered my grandson in my backyard March the 18th of 2018.
My name is Yolanda Banks Reed, and I'm happy to be here 1421 to support it, because everything should be revealed, especially records of the police officers that was involved in all of these mothers shooting, mothers and fathers who have lost their irreplaceable treasure. We are here in support of each other, and this is what it's going to take, the mothers. It's time for that femininity principle to move forward, and we shall have victory.
Amen.
Amen.
Hi, my name is Dominic Archibald. I'm the mother of Nathaniel Harris Pickett. He was murdered in San Bernardino County by San Bernardino County Sheriff Cal Hayden Woods. I just want to say that even though I'm glad to see AB 392 and SB 230 as they combine, and then SB 1421 moving along or having been passed, that the violence has left a very long trail, and there is no statute of limitations on murder.
Right.
And so we're asking still for justice.
That's right.
This may be good going forward, but what about all of the deaths that have occurred? As I understand, between 2013 and 2017, 1,071 police shootings just in the state of California, uncountable across the United States. I am a two-time combat vet, and I'm here to state that there really are greater rules of engagement in a war, and there have been more lives lost here in the United States than in the Iraq War when we pulled together the total sum. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kadeen Williams, the sister of O'Shane Evans that was assassinated right here in San Francisco on October 7, 2014 by Officer David Goff. I'm just here with the families, just to let you guys know that gone but never forgotten. And I will always carry on O'Shane Evans in my heart. He was my baby before I started having children. And just to hear a mother's cry, that cry that a mother's cry, when they lost your child, I never, ever want to feel that feeling. I never, ever want to feel that feeling. That's it.
My son was Agustin Gonzalez, 29 years old, killed by Hayward PD, Philip Woolley, and Michael Clark, shot 13 times. They didn't even bother to see that he didn't have anything in his hand until after they shot him 13 times and killed him. They need to be held accountable and taken off the streets. If they take 10 years to investigate, that officer should be off the streets for 10 years. And 1421 is going to take all the dirty stuff that those cops have and make them pay for what they're doing to our kids.
I'm the mother of Richard Perkins. My name is Ada Perkins Henderson, and I want justice for the police department that shot my son over 20 times. And that was overkill. His hands was up in the air. He said, "Please don't shoot me." They shot him anyway, and they tied his hands behind his back. And I was living right down the street when I saw the police out there. But I was out there and I prayed for somebody else's family. Me and some more people got in the rain. I said, well, I'm gonna pray for that family, but I didn't know I was praying for myself. But I want you to know justice will be done.
She doesn't want to speak.
That's fine. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think in closing,
She doesn't want to speak.
no, she's not going to speak. And I didn't mention it earlier. I'm the uncle of Oscar Grant, of course, the young man that was killed on January 1st, 2009 at the Fruitville Park Station. And again, we are just, a group of families that's bonded by blood but yet united in love. And we know today, as long as we stand together, that real systemic change will be brought forth. SB 1421 is an example of some legislation that we now feel speaks to the truth of what we've been saying, and which is really revealing to us what bad police officers exist in our community.
And 932 has to be passed. 332.
And yes, and definitely, we definitely need the support of the state of California in regards to passing AB 392, which is about saving our lives. Common sense legislation. This old statute of 1872 that still is on the books needs to go, because we know when it was brought in that black and brown people didn't have no rights, and therefore we're still suffering the impact of that statute. So therefore, it's part of why we feel that there has to be a change, and part of that would come through AB 392.
Jamila? Wait to hear from Jamila. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Jamelia Land, and I am a member of California Families United for Justice. And I am here with the families today. A very important conversation that we need to be able to have on a national level, and that is police murder by firearm is in fact gun violence in this country. And we need to begin to have those types of conversations. We have multiple families throughout the state of California who have lost their children to state-sanctioned murder, and we have had absolutely enough. And like Dominic Archibald said, though we are grateful for legislation like AB 392 that will hopefully save lives in the future, what about something retroactive? What about the many lives that have been lost prior to the passage of AB 392? And so we are very grateful that you are here, that you are listening, and that we are able to have this conversation about gun violence. As some of you all may know, my 4-year-old great-nephew, Navon Jackson, got a hold of a gun and shot himself in the head a few weeks ago. By the grace of God, he is alive, he is well, he is smiling, he is laughing, he is making contact. But it is very important, and people may wonder, well, how are these two issues related? They are related because at the end of the day, a bullet does not discriminate. Whether it comes from a police officer's gun or it comes from a community member's gun, a bullet leaves the same type of psychological damaging effect. The mental health impact that these killings are having on the African American community, on these mothers, these grandmothers, these fathers, these uncles, these aunts, these cousins, and let's not forget the many children that are oftentimes left behind. And so we are here today at the ACLU. We are having a celebratory moment due to the passage of SB 1421, which is a historic law in the state of California, which now gives us limited access to police records. And what we are finding, for example, we have the East Area Rapist. He is a classic example of why this type of legislation is important, because here we have a police officer in the state of California who was running rogue for over 40 years. He was raping and killing while policing. And so it is a very deep conversation that we need to be able to have. It is multifaceted. But again, today we are here to celebrate our victory as we move forward to pass AB 392.
Let's go. That's right.